Hi there, my name is Simon Dennis, and I'm going to give you a tutorial about how SSL works. SSL is something that's given me a lot of trouble over the years, and I know it's quite difficult to wrap your head around how the whole thing fits together. So this presentation is going to aim to do just that. What we're going to cover today? Well, we're going to cover why SSL certificates exist. Broadly, there are two reasons why SSL certificates exist. That's encryption and identification. So I'm going to go into encryption, finding out why we encrypt things, what good it does, and how that encryption actually works on your computer and on the web server. And then I'm going to go into identification, and that's how your web browser can trust what computer is on the other end. Okay. Okay, now like I said, there's two facets to why SSL exists. That's encryption and identification. Now encryption is basically hiding what's sent from one computer to another by changing the content. So it's like speaking in a code. I don't know whether you remember Pig Latin or Morse code. Well, these are all examples of code, but the code we use to encrypt our communication between two computers is obviously a lot more complex than that because we don't want it to be cracked easily. There's also identification. Now, how can you trust what computer is on the other end? How can you trust the computer on the other end is the computer you think it is? We'll go into both of these. First, we're going to cover encryption. Okay, now, typically, if you're going to send your credit card details to a server over the web, here we can see your computer on the left, the server on the right. We want to send the credit card details, so they go across. Now, without SSL, this information can be grabbed by another computer we see here on the bottom. So if you don't use SSL, any computer on any of the networks between you and the web server can get your details that you send over. So SSL aims to put a barrier around that so that when this other computer looks at it, it will just see garbage. Okay, so let's take an example. Google's Gmail service will encrypt using SSL the username and password you send it to. Now, how do we know this? If you look at the HTML behind the page, you see that when it submits the login details, the action in the HTML code begins